Hammer Catalyst is a really fun and really good roaming build right now. Today we're gonna take a look at this build and I will explain everything that you need to know. And without much further ado, let's jump right in. So regarding gear, you go for full Marauder on your armor with superior rune of the firework. If you can afford infusions, I would go for power infusion. Your trinkets would be all of them Demolisher, so that you get some toughness and vitality because your light armor class with a very low health pool, and that helps a lot to survive. Your weapon would be the hammer with Marauder stats as well. For sigils, I would go with Sigil of Cleansing and Energy just for even more defense. This build is a little bit low on cleansing on these, so therefore I go for Cleansing Sigil to have a little bit more on the cleanses. For Relic, you go with Relic of Speed. In my opinion, this is the best option because this build might be a little bit slow, but if you have the movement speed increased with swiftness, you almost feel like you're running around with super speed all the time. So this helps a lot with disengaging, with sticking to your target. It's really good in my opinion. There are alternatives. Those would be a Scarin, for example, just more damage, or Fireworks, also more damage. Both of them totally fine on a power build, but I think the Relic of Speed helps you to play a little bit more like a classical Roamer in World vs. World because you are otherwise very slow. There is the alternative to swap all your gear stats to Celestial, and this build works actually quite decently well as well. So both variants are totally fine. I just think that the power variant is more the classical hammer playstyle. Of course, if you enjoy more going for a Condi additional damage as well, then you go for Celestial. It's also a little bit more tanky. But I feel like if you want to play something aggressive, this is a really good build right now. Because it also has a lot of sustain baked into the kit when you run this gear combination here. Let's talk quickly about the food. So for food, you want to go with peppercorn crusted sweet steaks, just to the minus 10% incoming damage and more power and ferocity. Perfect. And of course, superior sharpening stones for utility consumables. Let's quickly go over your skills. So you go with the healing signet, because it just gives you passive healing a lot. It's really nice. You can go for soothing water if you need more Condi cleanses, but it's inactive, so you can get interrupted, so be careful with that. You have a lightning flash for teleports, really good. It's not a stun break, but really good. Then I go with Armor of Earth, just because it's a stun break, gives you stability so that you deny some CCs in the future, and you get some nice protection and barrier. It's a really good still. And then you have a block here. It has a less cooldown if you use it in Earth Sphere. And then you can reset your skills with Elemental Celerity. We will get to the combos in a second, but first let's talk about the traits. So for traits, you go with Arcane, Fire, and Catalyst. If you are running the Celestial variant, you would go in Fire with Burning Precision. If you are not playing Celestial, you go with Lesser Cleansing Fire or Burning Fire to cleanse more Condis. Otherwise, you get in Fire just a lot of power. You get some nice Fire Aura when you switch to Fire, which is really nice. We get to in a second why. And you get some more damage and recharge reduction. You get your Fire Aura, so all auras get Condi Cleanse when you use them, when you get them. That helps a lot. So switching to Fire cleanses one condition, and if the Cleansing Sigil procs actually 3 more, so 4. Really good. Then you get more might whenever you use a skill in Fire. That does not mean it has to be a Fire weapon skill, it can be any skill that is used in Fire. And then let's go to Arcane. Arcane gives you Fury when you switch, some other boons when you switch, depending on the element. Most notable here, Swiftness and Protection. Really good, especially with the Speed rune. And then you get more concentration and the recharge is reduced of your Elemental Attunement swap. And you get Vigor when you critically strike a foe. This helps a lot, because you actually have a high uptime just with this trait alone. Then you have Arcane Shield when you cast your Elemental Celerity. So you can use your Elemental Celerity to get a block, which helps a lot. 3 blocks to survive. Quite nice. And then Evasive Arcana, especially the Shockwave in Earth and the Cleansing Wave in Water. Water 1 heals. The Shockwave is a blast finisher, so you can combo that with your Sphere, which is a really important combo. Then you get access to your Sphere with Catalyst. It gives you some nice boons, Might, Resolution, Quickness, and Protection. Really good. Get energy when you attunement swap. And some might. You see, you get a lot of might with this build. Then you get more increase to stacks. That's why Celestial is so good on this build as well. because you get passively a lot of stat increases. Then you get more boons when you use your Jade Sphere, which is Resistance, Fury, Vigor, and Might. And always Swiftness, so you always have Swiftness, really, really good. The Resistance is really good here, because Resistance is a boon that helps a lot against annoying condis, and you don't want to cleanse them because you don't have too many cleanses. And this trait is really important. When you combo with a Leap or a Blast finisher in your attunement, you get the aura of this attunement. So Fire Aura, Frost Aura, Shocking Aura, Magnetic Aura, which is really, really strong. Especially Shocking Aura, Magnetic Aura are extremely strong. And then lastly, when you gain an aura, you get stability. So you have a lot of synergies and you get a lot of stability because of this trait as well. So now let's talk a bit about combos. Of course, your Shade Spheres are combo fields, and if you then use a Leap finisher or Blast finisher in them, you get the aura. The aura procs when the attack is finished. So that means if the cast is still ongoing and you swap to another element, you get the aura from the element that you finished the cast in. It's really, really important. So you can, for example, cast this skill, which is a Blast finisher, and swap to Fire to get a Fire aura. Typically, you won't do that because a Fire aura is weaker than a Shocking aura you get in air. So this is really important to understand. So you have in every single element, you have at least one finisher. So that means you have here the Blast finisher in air, you have in earth, again, a Blast finisher. In water, you don't have a Blast finisher, you have a Whirl finisher, a Leap finisher. So this one is the same, gives you also an aura if you would use it in a combo field. And then you have here again a Blast finisher and Fire. So remember that and try to use them in your combo fields to get the aura. Also try to always switch attunements to make sure that the aura that you get is off cooldown, because it has an internal cooldown for each aura. Then, of course, always use your free skill, and typically don't double tap it, just let it on, because passively it gives you some nice damage buffs or damage reduction buffs. Actually, it's really, really good. Your force skill is a nice damage skill, especially if you have a lot of might. So typically when you swap to Fire and don't have 25 might yet, you use some other skills and then you use your burst combo of 4 and 5. And that actually typically deals high amount of damage, and you can actually one-shot people with that. In water, typically this is your best condi cleanse skill. If you hit a lot of people with that, you cleanse all your condis almost. It's crazy. And then of course, use your force skill for insane healing, especially through a water field. If you hit your enemy target, it's really, really good. And dodge in water to get the healing, cleansing, wave, evasive arcana. In air, you have a nice CC and some damage on your 2, but the 5 skill is some nice setup. So if you can land this, especially if you combo it with your lightning field here, you get a Shocking aura. It's really, really good. And then, like this, is a really nice setup skill as well. Immobilize and a Blast finisher, so you can set up again with an aura. And you get a nice block here, which will also give you an aura if you block, and it will also give you stability because of that. So it's a really, really nice defensive skill. And this will also reflect or block missiles. So it's also a really nice defensive skill. So in Earth, you have a lot of defenses. I would say this build plays really simple. You just press your buttons and try to combo to get the auras. If you are facing a melee build, of course you can go melee. If you're facing a range build, you have to be a bit aware when you proc all your magnetic auras to line them up so that you don't get a lot of damage. You have so many deflects, reflects that you can put up that it's really hard for them actually to consistently damage you from range. So it's really, really strong if you know what you're doing. Of course, you can also combo a lot with Lightning Flash because it's an instant cast. And you can, of course, with Elemental Celerity, reset all your weapon skills in one attunement. So that means typically you use that in water if you need a lot of healing, condi cleansing, or you use it in earth to get the protection and reset all your defensive cooldowns like the block, like the immobilize. Or if you're really greedy, you can of course also do it in fire. It gives you some nice might, but it will also reset your really hard hitting 4 and 5 skill. So that means if you maybe missed it, if you need more damage, you can combo that, do it once again, and then you should probably kill your target. So this is it for the combos, I would say. Really important though that you use your Jade Spheres wisely, because you're not running the Sphere Specialist trait, so you can't get multiple spheres out and still get energy. So you have to be a little bit careful with the energy management, but you can see in the background, if you play it well, you actually deal a lot of damage while still being really able to sustain your boons and just get not hit that often. It's a really crazy good build. So I hope you enjoyed this quick guide. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks a lot for the support on Patreon, YouTube and Twitch. Thanks Timo, thanks Malice, and I hope to see you all in the next video.